warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. May 29 remains a public holiday in Nigeria, and this is according to the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. Mohammed, speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, says the decision of the government to have a low-key presidential inauguration on May 29 is to give prominence to the first ever June 12 Democracy Day celebration and cut costs. He further reviewed that activities to celebrate the president's inauguration will kick off with a press conference followed by a 3-day youth entrepreneurship summit starting on Tuesday. Meanwhile, events lined up for the June 12 Democracy Day celebration will commence on June 7 with an art exhibition closely followed by a youth concert and a parade on June 12 at the Eagle Square.
Followed on Tuesday, May 21st, by the commencement of a 3-day National Youth Entrepreneurship Empowerment Summit at the International Conference Center here in Abuja. The Federal Executive Council validatory session will be held at the Council Chambers, State House, Abuja on Wednesday, May 22nd. The country can ill afford 2 major celebrations within a 2-week interval. On the invitation of world leaders to the presidential inauguration, I said the leaders will be invited instead to the ceremonies marking the observance of the Democracy Day on June 12.
An application seeking an order to compel INEC to recount all the ballot papers used in the March 9 governorship election in Oyo State has been dismissed by the State Election Petition Tribunal. The application filed by the All Progressives Congress APC and its candidate Adebayo Adelabu was challenging the victory of Seyi Makinde, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, in the election. Delivering judgment on the matter, a 3-man panel of the tribunal chaired by Justice Sirajo Mohammed dismissed the application, saying it would jeopardize the respondents' right to fair hearing. Mohammed said the petitioners were only challenging the results of a few local government areas in the conduct of the polls, and there was no need to recount the entire ballot. He further adds that the time allowed to amend pleadings of all parties has elapsed, and no pleading can be amended at this stage. The court has now fixed June 10 for the commencement of hearing. And less than 2 weeks to its implementation, the Nigeria Governors Forum has kicked against the new NFRU order guiding statutory allocations to local government. The order mandates that all allocations be paid directly into the bank account of local government councils instead of the statutory joint account system. Obviously not happy with the move, the Nigerian Governors Forum has written to the federal government asking it to call the Financial Intelligence Unit to order. The governors say the NFRU is interfering in a matter beyond its mandate, adding that the new order contravenes the 1999 Constitution as amended. According to the letter, Section 6, subsection A and B confers on the states and national assemblies the power to make provisions for statutory allocation of public revenue to the local councils in the Federation within the states, respectively. The NFRU was excised from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and has set June 1st as a take-off date of the new order. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema has condemned the killing of a Nigerian UN peacekeeper in Timbuktu, northern Mali. The Nigerian soldier, who is yet to be identified, was killed while defending the North African country from gunmen who attacked it over the weekend. 4 other UN peacekeepers, including another Nigerian, sustained injuries in the attack. Also condemning the attack is the Secretary General to the United Nations, Antonio Guterres. The UN says the attacks occurred in 2 separate towns, Tessalit and Timbuktu. While still on security matters, Edo Commissioner of Police Mohammed Dan Malam has confirmed the killing of a lecturer at the Igbinedion University by suspected kidnappers. Kelvin Izebekai was abducted alongside other passengers traveling on the Lagos-Benin highway. He was shot dead when he tried to escape from his abductors, who were marching their captives into a forest along the expressway. Dan Malam, while condemning the incident, revealed that the police is working on a new strategy which entails taking the war to the kidnappers' den in the jungle. Well, it's been more than 450 days since Leah Sharibu was abducted by the Boko Haram terrorist sect, and calls for her release has grown louder by the day. At the center of this movement is the Bring Back Our Girls group, who are urging the federal government to do more to secure the release of all Nigerians in Boko Haram captivity, starting with Leah. This next report has more.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Leah.
This is the second birthday Leah Sharibu will be celebrating in Boko Haram captivity since she was abducted in February 2018. President Muhammadu Buhari made this promise some 450 days ago when 104 girls kidnapped alongside Leah were released. But today, no progress seems to have been made. The Bring Back Our Girls movement have organized this sit-out to celebrate Leah as she turns 16. They are urging the federal government to intensify efforts to secure her release and other Nigerians in Boko Haram captivity.
This is not about just Chibok girls. It's about Nigerians that are being abducted and the government is not taking responsibility for. But for the Chibok girls, we know their names. We know where they're from. They're from Chibok. For Leah, we know her name. We know she's from Dapchi. For Alice Ndaga, we know her name. We know she used to work for UNICEF. So we're using these ones that we know their names as representatives of the larger body of Nigerians who have been abducted. So every Saturday we're here. But this one in particular, we decided to use to sort of remember Leah particularly because she turned 16 on Tuesday.
Adding his voice to that of this group is human rights lawyer Femi Falana. He wants the government to carry parents of the missing girls along on progress made so far in securing the release of their daughters.
Government also has a responsibility to contact the parents, brief the parents on a weekly basis of the efforts being made to have their children released. Because it's not fair that the parents of Leah Sharibu and other girls are reading about the efforts being made by the government on the pages of newspaper. It's not okay.
While Leah may be the focus of this sit-out, this young man who came all the way from Chibok, Borno State, has something else to say to the government.
Seriously, it's sad. People we have government, then our daughter is outside there for 5 years. Up to now, there is nothing done about that. When we come outside demanding for our guests, then government will go appeal and give us some, and thoroughly receive some of the girls. It's very sad. If it's our senior daughter or whatever, by now 24 hours, I believe our government do something about it. Why all this needs to happen to us? Up to now, there is killing for our side over there. They are seriously killing. All our village now is almost burned down into ashes. Why our government not go there and help us? We are helpless. That's the fact, we are helpless. So only the local government remain.
Last month, the presidency revealed that the insurgents were still holding on to Leah and other captives to prevent massive clampdown by the armed forces. But despite this setback, President Buhari says Leah will be reunited with her family as soon as conclusions are reached on a number of options being considered for her safe transportation. Fidele Aguncha, TV360, Lagos.
Our guests now and alive. Bring back our guests now and alive.
Outgoing Governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, is under probe by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Okorocha's probe was confirmed by the acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, at a press conference. Magu, however, did not specify why the governor is being investigated. The EFCC boss also debunked rumors circulating on social media regarding details of the investigation. He says details will be provided to the public in due time. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Rabiu Yadudu as the new managing director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN. This was contained in a statement released by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Transportation in Abuja. Yadudu, who is a flight captain, will take over from the erstwhile manager Saleh Dunoma. The appointment takes immediate effect. On his new appointment, Yadudu was the Director of Airport Operations in Fan. Well, autism is one of the developmental disorders that occur in children, which causes challenges in their social, behavioral, and communication skills. According to the World Health Organization, it is estimated that 1 in 160 children all over the world has an autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and are often subjected to stigma and neglect, which deprive them the opportunity to actively take part in their respective communities. In Lagos, Southwest Nigeria, an Autism Institute, the Patrick Speech and Language Center, is closing that gap and giving these set of people hope to live a better life. Oyin Adekunle tells us more.
From the moment a child is born, expectations begin to rise about his or her development, when to walk, talk, sit, and eat. And when these expectations are not met at the right time, it causes worry and fear. Dr. Akonde's son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2, at a time when there were no centers to cater for persons with this condition in Nigeria. With the help of speech and music therapy, her son's case was successfully managed. Akonde, who now runs the first certified autism center in the country, talks more about the disorder.
It affects the area of social skills, that is, the child is not socializing with other children. Would rather play alone or with a particular object, or will like to do stuff on his own rather than mix with other children. Behavior in terms of the child, sometimes hyperactive, some of them are hyperactive. That means they are so docile you can't even reach them. If you put them there, they will sit all through the day without just doing their small teeny weeny thing. And a major part also, which is communication. A lot of them don't have communication skills. That is, some of them don't talk. The ones that are talking don't use speech functionally.
Patrick Speech and Language Center is certainly not your regular everyday school, and the school head explains what makes it so.
We observe them. From the observation, we now pencil down what they need. Let's assume the behavioral issue. If a child is very restless, then what do we need to do? We look at what can we do to make the child calm. We have to draw a plan. We have to make research if possible. We have to now relay with other professionals to see what can we do, which area can we touch, which activity do we need to present to make sure that the child involved gets what he needs and regulate himself so that he can be able to attend to a given task.
Can you pick 10 naira?
Wow. This is what learning is like at the Orange class, where students between ages 16 and 40 are being taught functional life skills. Classwork at this time is about money and banking, but it doesn't end there.
Once in a week, we go to the bank to teach the adults how they can use the ATM machine. And some of them that have actually graduated from using the ATM machine, we teach them how to fill teller and how to make deposits in the bank, how to use money, addition of money, subtraction of money, how they can actually engage in shopping with money.
There are varying degrees of autism, and this raises the need for therapy. At Patrick Speech and Language Center, this is adequately catered for.
A child who is hypersensitive to sound may want to cover his ears because he's hearing the same sound we are hearing in a normal volume. He's hearing it louder than how we hear it. So in an attempt to block out the noise, he tries to cover his ears. And that's not fine, even in a class setting whereby the child has to listen to the teacher and learn. He's busy covering his ears because of the different sounds coming in from within and outside the classroom. So sensory integration occupational therapy tries to meet the needs of these children by reducing that hypersensitivity, or in a case whereby it is down there, very low, trying to sensitize the child so that there is a balance, so that the child can function quite well, optimally.
Dr. Akonde says a lot more can be achieved in the management of autism if there is more financial support from both government and private organizations.
The government they've supported, but not enough. We need grants. We need grants to help us to build capital projects. We need grants to be able to build a purpose-built center. We need grants to build a dance room. We need grants to build a hall. You know, things that gives these children life, to give them a functional life skills.
Autism remains a mystery with no known cure. Health experts, however, say structured management can go a long way in helping children with the condition achieve full potential as they grow up. Just like former scientist Albert Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton, and others too numerous to mention. Oyin Adekunle, TV360, Lagos.
Continue in just a moment. Stay with us.
Which housed the crash nurseries and the crest to the right from Hosete, the problem also.
That the election have been postponed and Nigerians have been reacting.
Local area of Lagos as early as 7 a.m.
Some minutes past the incident has been managed.
Headquarters this morning we have
Welcome back. Well, let's now join Oyin Adekunle for the latest in business. Hello, Oyin.
Hi, Fidelia.
So, Oyin, I hear Nigeria's GDP has slowed, and this has negatively affected some sectors in the country. Could you tell us more?
Yes, Nigeria's oil economy has declined by 2.40%, just as the country's gross domestic product (GDP) slowed to 2.01%. This is according to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The NBS says the election that held in March may have affected the economy's performance, which it describes as the strongest since 2015. The oil slowdown marks a difference of 0.78% from the 1.62% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2018. The nation's GDP also contracted to 2.01% from 2.38% in the fourth quarter of 2018. Oil prices jumped as much as 1% on Monday after Saudi Energy Minister Khalid Al-Falih indicated there was consensus among OPEC and allied oil producers to continue limiting supplies. Brent crude futures were at $72.98 per barrel, up 77 cents or 1.11% from their last close. Brent closed down 0.6% on Friday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $63.39 per barrel, up 63 cents from their previous settlement. Stock market review is up next right after this break. Please stay tuned. Back and better, the bulls are fully in charge of the market mood at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, doing miracles. For the third straight day, the all-share index gained 1.74%, which saw the market capitalization closing at 12.937 trillion naira. MTN Nigeria shares are currently the most sought-after stocks on the Nigerian stock market, and we see that it is followed closely by Dangote Cement, and of course we have Guinness and Dangote Flour. Actually, analysts are saying that MTN, if it continues with this trend, may depose Dangote Cement as with the current momentum it's gaining, it may depose Dangote as one of the most capitalized stock on the market. And moving on to the market losers today, we have Forte Oil, Access also on the chart, I beg your pardon. We also have WAPCO and eTransact. Moving on now to the market summary, we see that a total of 214.420 million shares were traded in 4,644 deals, and that was worth 7.932 billion naira. Moving to the global stock market now, FTSE is dropping 0.51%. It started the week on a low. Dow is also falling by 0.18% after Google cut some ties with Huawei. Also, Nikkei is gaining 0.24% after data released on Monday showed Japan's gross domestic product grew at 2.1% in the first quarter of the year, as opposed to expectations of a 0.2% contraction. So that's all on the stock market review today. It's back to you, Fidelia.
Well, thank you, Oyin, for that update. I must agree with you that MTN is indeed performing miracles at the NSE, because since it started trading in the market, 8 days of loss has been wiped off, and we can see the market is recording gains for the 3rd consecutive day. And I really hope this trend continues.
I hope so too.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Well, still to come is news from the foreign and sports scene. After this break, stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
My name is Alero. I am not sick. I just need you to help put your stamp on this medical report. I want to tender it at my office as a sick leave. I'll pay 10,000 naira.
Ma'am, that is impersonation. I'm not a doctor.
Oga, be like say this English no go pay. I go increase the money to 20,000 naira. I beg. You know, if I give you that 20,000, as you wide, so you know, if it still help your condition more. So you know, say you spread well.
As I spread like virus, I'll be.
You talk. Come
out! If person come to your hospital, talk to make you give am fake medical report, make you go take collect sick leave. Talk and say no, na corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. An investigation by Human Rights Watch into a conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo has found that an alarming number of young girls were raped, abducted, and forced to join a militia. The group interviewed more than 50 female students and teachers from dozens of schools that were attacked in DR Congo's Kasai region between 2016 and 2017. Their research found that the girls were often placed on the front line in the conflict armed only with a broom or kitchen utensil, due to a local belief that the girls provided magical protection to the rest of the fighters. At least 5,000 people were killed and more than 1 million others were displaced in the conflict between the local militia and government forces. Well, to sport, the organizing committee of the Africa Cup of Nations has unveiled Toot, a football pharaoh, as the official mascot for the 2019 African Cup of Nations, which will take place from June 21 to July 19. The AFCON organizing committee said the branding will showcase Egyptian culture. The committee has also launched an online ticket marketplace called Taskati, where fans can sign up for a fan ID and purchase tickets for the tournament games. Fans can either pay for their chosen tickets online with immediate printing options or pick them up from outlets nationwide. The full tournament will start on June 21 at 8 p.m. local time as the hosts take on Zimbabwe in Group A. Well, it was a fun fair at the Agege Stadium, Lagos at the weekend when Nigerian football legends battled their African counterparts at an exhibition game to bid farewell to Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode, who is credited with building several sports facilities in Lagos State, will leave office later this month. The game featured on the Nigerian side most of the 1994/96 set of Super Eagles, including Kanu Nwankwo, Austin Okocha, Austin Eguavon, among others, against the best from the continent of that era. The match ended in a 4-4 draw. After the match, the players spoke to TV360 Nigeria on their expectations for the 2019 African Cup of Nations coming up in Egypt next month.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. Yeah, I think it's a good one. A good more chance to every country in the continent to participate at least one time in the African Cup. And you know, African Cup for us in our continent is the biggest tournament. So we are really glad to be actually that is extended now to 24 teams.
Well, the tournament itself, I think Nigeria, my country, have a big chance. but the first game is always very important. If we get the first 3 points, I think we can go all the way.
Well, there's nothing like easy group. I mean, you have to play 90 minutes and win the games before you can qualify. So you just have to, do your own work very well. And don't think, that, you have an easy group. There's nothing like easy group. They are all, they all qualified meritoriously for the AFCON. So they just have to play it like that.
Well, that's the size of our bulletin on News Now. For more information, visit our website at TV360 Nigeria. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.